women want to be equal. And believe me when I tell you, women have proved here that they are equal. They have absolutely proven themselves, and people love the women's fights. These women become big stars.
Dakota, a superstar. What is up, Fiat? You're the next big thing. They look after on board. Great to see it, Fiat. Strong woman, good girl. Looking awesome. Great to see her. Great to finally meet you. Love it, love it. What's the crack? What are we up next? Yeah, Bella, walking myself here. Love it. As superstar right here, 100%. Love it, bro. Love the great to see you, Fiat. Good. Hey, man, how you doing? Nice to meet you, man.
Conor McGregor and UFC President Dana White have just dropped an absolutely massive bombshell message directed at none other than former bantamweight queen Ronda Rousey after witnessing Dakota Ditcheva's latest brutal knockout. And folks, this isn't just your typical Dana White hype. This statement has the entire combat sports world talking. The question on everyone's mind, could Dakota Ditcheva destroy Ronda Rousey? Dana White was left absolutely stunned after watching the British Phenom's vicious finish, and what he said next has Ronda Rousey responding on Twitter with a message you absolutely need to hear.
When you say things like it's going to be the greatest fight card ever assembled, our imaginations run wild, right? And one of the things people have been wondering about is Ronda Rousey. She posted like she's finding her love for MMA again and training hard. Have you talked to her? Does she have any desire to return to the UFC?
Yeah, her and I are still very close when we talk. You know, I would say we probably talk once every 3 months or something like that. And she was in Vegas recently, and she came by the offices. But yeah, I don't know what her plans are. I think she's just.
Let's get into it. Here's how this entire firestorm started. UFC legend and respected analyst Dan Hardy recently sent shockwaves through the MMA community with one of the boldest statements we've heard in years. While discussing 26-year-old Dakota Ditcheva on the Bloody Elbow podcast, Hardy didn't just praise the undefeated PFL champion. He made a direct challenge to Ronda Rousey's entire legacy. Hardy stated, and I quote, "I could make the argument right now that she could beat anybody in this weight class on the planet."
I could make the argument right now that she could beat anybody in this weight class on the planet.
But he didn't stop there. Hardy went on to break down exactly why he believes Dakota has not only matched Rousey's legendary skill set, but actually surprised it. According to Hardy, while Ronda Rousey was undeniably a trailblazer who built her dominance through Olympic-level judo and that iconic armbar, she had one critical weakness. She dominated primarily in one range of combat. Dakota Ditcheva, on the other hand, she represents the complete evolution of women's MMA. Hardy explained that Dakota can hold her own on the ground against elite jiu-jitsu practitioners, but what truly sets her apart is her takedown defense combined with those absolutely vicious Muay Thai strikes, a deadly combination that could put anyone in serious trouble. Now, before we get to Dana's reaction, let's talk about who Dakota Ditcheva really is and why Hardy's words carry so much weight. Dakota Ditcheva isn't just some up-and-coming prospect. She's the real deal with the numbers to prove it. Dakota enters 2025 with an absolutely immaculate 15-0 professional record. But here's what's truly scary. She has a 90% finish rate with 12 knockouts and 1 submission. That's not just winning, that's dominating.
Jab. 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 Double. Double up.
In 2024, she captured the PFL Women's Flyweight World title and secured a cool $1 million prize. And the way she did it? absolutely dismantling former UFC title challenger Taila Santos in just 2 rounds. The same Santos who once pushed the legendary Valentina Shevchenko to the absolute limit. Born July 25, 1998, in Manchester, England, Dakota was already a Muay Thai world champion at just 17 years old. She won gold at the 2016 IFMA World Championships before transitioning to MMA and immediately making a statement. That's the same fearless confidence Ronda Rousey had in her prime, but with the well-rounded skill set of a new generation fighter. But to understand why this comparison stings so much, we need to talk about how Ronda Rousey's career ended. Rousey's final fight at UFC 207 was a brutal 48-second knockout loss to Amanda Nunes, where she looked completely outmatched on her feet. It was a devastating end to what had been one of the most dominant reigns in MMA history.
Ronda is in big trouble, Mike. Nunes' hands are down. She's walking down. She tagged her again.
It's 100 niggas in the street. It's 85 just to walk in.
Ronda herself later reflected on that dark period, saying, "I remember my last fight walking away thinking God hates me. I had nothing left in me." She also revealed something even more heartbreaking. "The first time I got touched, I was out on my feet. My brain isn't callous. It doesn't heal back stronger after a break. It was just an inevitable decline."
"I remember my last fight walking away thinking God hates me," Rousey confessed. "But the next fight I got touched, I was out on my feet. My brain doesn't heal back stronger after a break. It was an inevitable decline."
But let's not forget, Ronda Rousey was a trailblazer who shattered ceilings and gave legitimacy to women's MMA when nobody else believed in it. She went 12-0 with 11 first-round finishes, became the first UFC women's champion, and carried the division when the sport was still finding its footing. Dana acknowledged Ronda's contributions to the sport, but made it crystal clear where his focus lies: on the next generation of stars like Dakota Ditcheva. The message seemed clear. While White respects Rousey's legacy, his focus has shifted to the future. And that silence about a Rousey comeback, that might be the loudest statement of all. Sources close to the situation revealed that the UFC has been eyeing Dakota heavily, but the PFL is holding tight to their biggest star after denying a recent trade request. Dana's been known to hype fighters before, but this felt different. This felt like him passing the torch, acknowledging that the sport has evolved beyond what even Ronda accomplished. What Dana is essentially saying is this: Dakota Ditcheva represents everything women's MMA has become. Technical, well-rounded, dangerous in every position. And in today's UFC, that evolution matters more than nostalgia. Shortly after Dana's statement went public, Ronda Rousey took to Twitter with a response that immediately went viral. While the exact wording of her tweet shows grace and acknowledgement of Dakota's talent, there's an underlying tension you can feel. Some fans praised Rousey for her class and maturity, while others felt she was downplaying the legitimate comparison. MMA legends quickly jumped into the conversation. Daniel Cormier and Miesha Tate both came to Rousey's defense, with DC tweeting, "Put some respect on Ronda's name. She opened doors nobody else could." And he's absolutely right. Without Ronda, there might not be a platform for fighters like Dakota Ditcheva to showcase their skills. At 37 years old and having moved on to professional wrestling and other ventures, a comeback seems unlikely. But in combat sports, we've learned to never say never.
Ronda Rousey is squaring off with a 14-time world champion. And Rousey rights and left.
Put your hands up.
Right into the corner.
Get your hands up, boss.
Rousey unloading on Triple H. A vicious assault by Rousey. The game is down. The game is down.
What a...
No, she's not.
Oh my God. You're gonna be kidding me.
If you could have one song play every time you knock someone out, what would it be?
It's 7 p.m. Friday. It's 95 degrees. I ain't got no, and no ain't got me.
It's 7 p.m. Friday. 95 degrees. I ain't got no, and no, I ain't got me. Let's go.
Dakota Ditcheva is back, and she's set to light up Dubai in February 2026 with an absolute banger of a fight. After recovering from a broken hand that kept her sidelined, the undefeated British sensation is ready to remind the world why she's one of the most feared strikers in the game. And her opponent, former Bellator kickboxing world champion Denise "Miss Dynamite" Kielholtz.
Plum and a right hand. Oh, another one. Big one. Dakota Ditcheva, right hand and a hammer fist. Another knockout for Dakota Ditcheva.
This is going to be an all-out war, and everything you need to know about this massive showdown at PFL Road to Dubai, stick around till the end, because we'll be discussing what this fight means for Dakota's future and who might be next in line. Let's get into it. So here's what went down. The PFL just dropped a bombshell announcement that has the entire MMA world buzzing.
Against the fence with body shots.
Combination again, punching her way out of these clinches.
Naba not able to match speed on the outside.
Crashing in again.
Oh, beautiful knee.
Oh, the clinch is really working for Ditcheva. She gets the turn underneath, the knee finds its way to the face of Sumiko Naba, and an elbow from Dakota.
Naba can't take a lot of those knees.
On February 7th, 2026, at the Coca-Cola Arena in Dubai, Dakota Ditcheva returns to the cage to face Denise Kielholtz in what promises to be an absolute striking clinic. But let's be real, Dakota Ditcheva is the star everyone wants to see. Now, what makes this even more interesting is the social media buzz. Dakota sent a massive message on social media, and Kielholtz fired right back on Twitter with her own warning. The mental warfare has already begun, and these two warriors are not holding back. Dakota made it crystal clear. She's coming for a finish, and Kielholtz better be ready for the fight of her life. Kielholtz responded with fire, reminding everyone that she's a world champion kickboxer who's faced the best in the world, and she's not intimidated by anyone. This verbal warfare is just heating up, folks. Let's talk about why Dakota Ditcheva is one of the most exciting fighters on the planet right now. The numbers don't lie. Record 15-0, perfect and undefeated. Finish rate 87%. She stopped 13 of her 15 opponents. Knockout rate 80%, 12 knockouts out of 15 fights. First round finishes, a mind-blowing 71%. But here's the story behind her last fight. In July 2025 at PFL Africa, Dakota faced Sumiko Inaba and won a dominant decision. But for the first time in her PFL career, she had to go the full 3 rounds.
Against defense with body shots.
Combination again, punching her way out of these clinches.
Inaba not able to match speed on the outside.
Crashing in again.
Oh, beautiful knee.
Out of the clinch is really working for Ditcheva. She gets the turn and then the knee finds its way to the face of Sumiko Inaba and an elbow from Dakota.
Inaba can't take a lot of those knees.
Why? Because she broke her hand during the fight, but kept pushing through the pain. After 9 straight stoppage victories in the PFL, Dakota showed a different side of herself, her heart, her grit, and her championship mentality. She broke down in tears after the fight, not because she lost, but because her finishing streak ended. That's the kind of competitor we're dealing with here. Dakota's resume is insane. 2023 PFL Europe Tournament Champion, 2024 PFL World Tournament Champion, the first British woman to become an MMA World Champion, 9 consecutive finishes in the PFL before the Inaba fight. And get this, she just re-signed with the PFL on a multi-fight deal. She shut down all the UFC trade rumors and made it clear the PFL is her home. At just 27 years old, training at the legendary American Top Team with a devastating Muay Thai background, Dakota is entering her prime. Now, let's talk about the woman stepping into the fire, Denise Miss Dynamite Kielholtz. At 36 years old with an 8-5 MMA record, some people might overlook her. That would be a huge mistake. First off, she's a former Bellator kickboxing world champion. This woman has spent years in Amsterdam honing her striking craft in one of the birthplaces of kickboxing excellence. Her credentials: former Bellator title challenger, lost a controversial split decision to Juliana Velasquez in 2021, black belt in judo, so she's dangerous on the feet and on the ground. 8 wins in 13 professional MMA fights, back-to-back victories in 2023, including a win over, wait for it, Sumiko Inaba, the same fighter Dakota just faced. Here's the interesting twist. Kielholtz was supposed to fight Taila Santos in the 2024 PFL tournament, but had to withdraw. Dakota stepped in and eventually beat Santos to win the tournament. So there's some unfinished business here. Kielholtz is coming off a 2-year layoff since her last fight in December 2023, but don't let that fool you. She's been training, she's been waiting for an opportunity, and now she has a chance to shock the world. With her elite striking pedigree and championship experience, Kielholtz is the perfect test for Dakota's return. Let's break down what we can expect when these two step into the cage. This is going to be an absolute striking showcase. Both women are elite strikers, but with different styles. Dakota brings explosive Muay Thai with devastating power and killer instincts. Kielholtz brings technical Dutch kickboxing with years of championship-level experience. Dakota has the youth, the momentum, and that killer instinct that makes her finish fights early and often.
Oh, what a knockdown! What a knockout! Sumiko Inaba is 4-0 with her third knockout win, getting it done in less than...
Sumiko Inaba sends a massive bombshell message to Dakota Ditcheva that shook the entire MMA community. Sumiko Inaba boldly declared, I mean, she's the face of PFL. If I take out the face of PFL, am I the face of PFL now?
I mean, she's the face of PFL. If I take out the face of PFL, am I the face of PFL now?
But Dakota didn't stop there. The undefeated champion responded with full confidence, firing back at Sumiko Inaba with a message that sent chills down everyone's spine. Dakota replied, "They literally want to come in and take everything I have. And that's how I have to approach every single fight. I have to protect every single ounce of my career, my life. Expect fireworks and you won't be disappointed on July 19th. She's no walkover, but I don't think she's on my level. I'm going to show that in South Africa."
They literally want to come in and take everything I have, and that's how I have to approach every single fight. I have to protect every single ounce of my career, my life.
Expect fireworks, and you won't be disappointed on July 19th.
She's no walkover, but I don't think she's on my level. I'm going to show that in South Africa.
And Dakota Ditcheva also sent a message on Twitter that added even more fuel to the fire, the pre-fight drama, and what happened when these two warriors finally stepped into the cage. So buckle up, because this is going to be intense. The tension between Dakota Ditcheva and Sumiko Inaba didn't just start overnight. This was a clash of egos, skills, and undefeated records colliding head-on.
Ditcheva, a huge favorite in this one. Inaba has embraced that all week long and really all camp long, ready to pull off the big upset in Cape Town.
Sumiko Inaba came into this fight with pure confidence, believing she could dethrone the so-called face of PFL and take her spot at the top. She wasn't shy about it either. In multiple interviews leading up to the fight, Sumiko made it clear she thought Dakota was beatable. "If I take out the face of PFL, am I the face of PFL now?" she questioned, essentially saying she was ready to steal Dakota's throne.
Match up here. Mike Josh Johnson.
20 seconds, Jess.
John McCarthy.
20 seconds, Jess. With the knee. 15 seconds, Jess. Bump and turn. 10 seconds, Jess. Let's go.
Throwing down hard. Those are big shots. It is all over. Just.
The stage was set. July 19th, 2025. Cape Town, South Africa. PFL Champions Series 2. 2 undefeated fighters. 1 cage. Only one could remain undefeated. When the cage door closed, all the talking stopped. It was time to fight. From the opening bell, the intensity was absolutely electric. Sumiko Inaba came out aggressive, just like she promised. She was trying to pressure Dakota, move forward, and make this her fight.
High pressure Dakota Ditcheva. Just where Dakota Ditcheva hunts the liver. She will attack with body shots. Combination and clinches. Oh, the clinch is really working for Ditcheva. She gets the knee, finds its way to the face of Sumiko Inaba, and an elbow from Dakota.
I want to be here, backed against the fence.
On knees, the left hand.
But Dakota Ditcheva She was ready. Dakota immediately responded with precise range management, using front kicks to the face to keep Sumiko at bay. And let me tell you, one of those early front kicks landed clean, snapping Inaba's head back and giving her a taste of what was coming. Sumiko tried to close the distance and get into the clinch, but every single time she did, Dakota punished her with brutal knees and sharp elbows. This was Dakota's world, and Sumiko was just visiting.
Сумико Инаба, выбрасывая удары, фронт-кик в лицо. И мощнейший левый прямой. Инаба с отчаянием самурайским пытается залететь на ближнюю дистанцию. Тайский клинч.
Молодец, Сумика, пошла вперед. Ей надо рисковать. В нее здесь никто не верит. И колено сейчас может залететь. Вообще, самое опасное оружие у Дакоты Дитчевой – это ее колени. Локти тоже хороши. По корпусу неплохо работает Сумико Инаба.
At one point, Sumiko went for a takedown, thinking maybe she could change the fight's momentum. But Dakota? She expertly reversed the position and started landing heavy shots from the clinch, backing Sumiko right up against the cage. By the end of round 1, it was crystal clear. Dakota Ditcheva was in complete control. Her striking was far more effective, her defense was airtight, and Sumiko's offense was being shut down at every turn. The first round belonged to Dakota, and Sumiko knew she had to make major adjustments if she wanted to survive.
Японская спортсменка с Гавайских островов. И опять колени.
Но и пробивает по корпусу. Инаба пытается завести ногу. Локти опять пошли. Колени в ход от Дитчевой.
Round 2 started, and Dakota came out with even more urgency. She opened with another clean front kick and continued her dominance in the clinch. Her elbows were slicing through Sumiko's guard like knives, and her knees to the body were absolutely relentless. But here's where things got interesting. Around the halfway mark of round 2, Dakota appeared to injure her left hand. She signaled it to her corner, and you could see the pain on her face. Most fighters would back off. Most fighters would play it safe, but not Dakota Ditcheva. Instead of slowing down, she adjusted her strategy. She started throwing more kicks, more right hands, and more elbows. Even with one compromised hand, Dakota landed over 170 total strikes throughout this fight.
Последние секунды включается здесь. Дитчева и что? Неужели душить будет?
Нет, заканчивается второй раунд, отправляются девушки на перерыв и...
Sumiko tried to rally. She threw counterpunches. She shot for takedowns. She did everything she could to turn the tide. But Dakota's takedown defense was flawless. She stuffed every single attempt and continued landing strikes at will from mid and close range. Sumiko was tough, there's no doubt about that. But Dakota was on another level, and everyone watching knew it. The third and final round showcased everything that makes Dakota Ditcheva special. Her heart, her adaptability, her warrior spirit.
Можно сказать, что, так, наверное, и ожидалось, да?
Нет, ожидалось, что Сумика столько не продержится. Она все еще в бою.
Но ты же не зря несколько раз напомнил, что она никогда не проигрывала досрочно. Плюс еще...
Despite the injured hand, Dakota switched stances, used spinning kicks, and fired leg kicks to keep Sumiko guessing. She was mixing up her attacks, staying unpredictable, and showing why she's one of the most complete fighters in women's MMA. Sumiko Inaba was visibly swollen and exhausted, but give her credit, she refused to go down. She absorbed everything Dakota threw at her with incredible toughness and kept moving forward. Near the end of the round, Dakota let out a visible expression of pain from her injured hand, but she still threw a flurry of strikes to close out the fight strong. You could tell she wanted the finish, but Sumiko's chin and determination kept her standing until the final bell. When the bell rang at 5 o'clock of round 3, everyone in the arena knew who had won. All three judges scored the fight 30-27 in favor of Dakota Ditcheva. Dakota looked emotional in the cage, acknowledging the pain in her hand and the toll the fight took on her body. But she also smiled, knowing she had just extended her undefeated record to 15-0 and proved once again why she's the real face of the PFL. In her post-fight interview, Dakota said, "Yeah, I think I've injured my left hand, but I think I'm just more gutted because I've been out for so long and then I've come back and I'm injured again. But I hope you guys enjoyed it anyway. Thank you so much."
Yeah, I think I've injured my left arm, but I think I'm just more gutted because I've been out for so long and then I've come back and I'm injured again. But I hope you guys enjoyed it anyway. Thank you so much.
After the fight, Dakota confirmed she had signed a new contract extension with PFL and was already looking ahead to her next challenge. She's set to face the winner of the upcoming Liz Carmouche versus Gina Bishop fight scheduled for August 15th. And you can bet she'll be coming in even more dangerous than before. This win didn't just prove Dakota's dominance. It proved her ability to stay composed and tactical under pressure, even while dealing with an injury mid-fight.
Jab. Jab. 1, 2. Jab. Double. Jab. 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 Double. Double up.
Sumiko Inaba came in talking big, but Dakota Ditcheva backed up every single word she said. She protected her throne, shut down the doubters, and reminded everyone why she's one of the most feared fighters in the sport. Dakota's journey is far from over. With an undefeated record, elite-level striking, and the heart of a true champion, the flyweight division better watch out. Valentina Shevchenko just put on an absolutely brutal, dominant performance against Zhang Weili at UFC 322, and even Dana White was left stunned, sitting cage-side with his jaw on the floor, watching this legendary champion dismantle one of the division's most dangerous fighters. After that dominant performance, Valentina dropped a massive bombshell aimed directly at Dakota Ditcheva. But here's what makes this insane. We're talking about a 37-year-old legend with over a decade of experience at the highest level, who's faced and beaten the absolute best fighters in the world. And Dakota? She just made it crystal clear on social media. She's coming for that throne, and she believes her youth, power, and momentum will defeat the legendary champion. Can experience and wisdom overcome youth and power? Can the new generation dethrone the old guard? Let's set the scene. Madison Square Garden, November 15th, UFC 322. Valentina, the Bullet. Shevchenko stepped into the octagon against Zhang Weili, and what happened next was pure domination. Valentina reminded everyone exactly why she's considered one of the greatest female fighters of all time. The precision, the technique, the absolute clinic she put on. It was a masterclass in mixed martial arts. But here's where it gets interesting. Right after the fight, in her post-fight interview, Valentina was asked about her future and whether she'd face the rising star Dakota Ditcheva.